Hey there. I've already ranked a lot of movies, but I'm kind of out of big franchises I've seen. And some big ones don't exactly count as video ideas, like for ranking every Terminator and Men in Black movie. You already know the worst and best, so I'm gonna rank a show instead. You could make an argument that The Amazing Digital Circus doesn't count as a show, but it's on Netflix, and even if it's primarily on YouTube, Netflix is a show platform, and I'd rather rewatch this series than, rewatch every Has Been Hotel episode or something. Here's the short answer. The worst is mid and the best is mid. I just realized while, recording this, I could have probably ranked every Avatar episode. Well, anyway, the rules are, I'm ranking every episode by the writing, humor, and not by the animation, as that's kinda dumb. Like, you don't say a Marvel movie is good because of the CGI. I might mention, shading or something like that, something specific, but that's about it. Real quick, the worst episodes are tied because they both aren't that bad, and generally good. Before I mention the worst, I should say that every episode is good, so I kind of just picked the most interesting one. Anyway, the worst spot is for... At number 8 is episode 2, Candy Carrier Chaos. Better than I remembered. On my first watch, the first episode gave me, high expectations for episode 2, and it kinda lived up to that. I think the main thing that makes it weaker for me is that the adventure is more action-oriented with the high-speed chase, mainly, instead of, being dark with the whole abstraction thing of episode 1. And Jax isn't just being mean to Gangle, but straight up causes a genocide for fun. I like the nightmare intro a bit, and the Gummy Goo revelation scene was interesting, I guess. The problem was that he died right afterwards, so unless he comes back in episode 9 with, his memories, I'm just confused why he had a whole sad scene if he was just gonna die right afterward. I guess to reflect Pomni's existential crisis, but I don't know. Why not just do another Pomni sad scene? Still a very good episode, and I mean, I like the Candy world. Candyland isn't that interesting of a board game, but I think my favorite part of it is the visuals, so that's good. And I mean, it is fun. It's kind of weaker than usual, so I'm just gonna say a low 7 out of 10. Still good, though. At number 7 is episode 4, Fast Food Masquerade. Upon rewatch, I still kind of see why I originally made this episode the lowest. I do like most of the jokes, and the idea is interesting. It might be just that I've never worked at a fast food place, but I guess Ragatha got too tired and became drunk for 5 hours straight. Apparently she, huffed paint, according to later episodes, but... It's not like a tease for something later on, which they do throughout the show. It's just, a funny thing that happened off-screen that's random. Anyway... I did like the Gangle stuff where it reveals that the Happy Mask is just a masquerade for the fast food place. Just like the title. I don't know if it's relevant that she got hit by a truck at the end of the episode. I guess that she feels like being happy is dangerous or something. Anyway, I thought it was funny how Kinger got an A+ at the performance review, where he wasn't even at the job. And Pomni going, "Here we go again," basically, when Gangle's having a little breakdown was kind of funny. But for the most part, it's kind of simple. I mean, it's a lot of just, long shots of them doing nothing, really. There's a few good jokes, though. I guess it works to show how boring a fast food place could be, but I don't know. It's not bad, though. A mid 7 out of 10. It works as an episode better than episode 2 as it has purpose, but that's about it. Anyway, at number 6 is episode 5. Untitled. About what I remembered. This episode reminds me a lot of Season 8, Episode 1 of Family Guy, Road to the Multiverse, where the art style switched a bunch every minute or two. However, this episode had more room to breathe than that one, as it's 3 minutes longer, and a little funnier, honestly. I liked how instead of a big sad scene with the character and Pomni there to comfort them, the characters just talk a bit about their lives before entering the circus. There's also teased the Jax meltdown of episode 6, and I like how well they adapted to each setting. The anime one looked like a real anime, except the higher budget. The football field looked pretty realistic, and the 50s scene had 50s music. Not just like a black and white art style only. Also, Coach Dictator's voice sounds like Hitler with the German dub. Poetic. Nothing groundbreaking, but a fun episode overall. A good old 7 out of 10. I think if this episode had like a main central location, so it had more substance to it and like memorability, then it would probably be higher. Anyway, at number 5 is episode 3, The Mystery of the Mildenhall Manor. It's not by much, but I like this one better than the others, because, I mean, it might just be because I like horror more than action. It has a main location, and I don't know, it doesn't have slow pacing, but it's better. That's about it. Maybe it's the shading as well. I kind of forgot about that. I like how they revealed Kinger's dead wife, the general direction of the horror, Purple Guy returning, and most of the jokes, and I guess the reveal of Kane being purposeless without adventures. I guess it's interesting that since Kane creates the adventures entirely, the hell at the end of the episode can be interpreted as Kane's view on it. Being a place without anything to do, and in the dark as a computer. So that's interesting. Also, the episode tying the start and end together by Kinger glowing when he's out of breath was cool. While nothing special compared to the later entries on this ranking, I think a strong 7 out of 10 for sure. Oh yeah, the 2D Scooby-Doo Eyes in the Dark segment was pretty good too. At number 4, unfortunately, because I think this episode's like really good, is episode 7, Beach Episode. On rewatch, when you know the twist at the end, this episode kind of feels pointless, which is the only real reason it's not in the top 3. When Abel mutters about Kinger using his intellect too much, I think that has to do with Abel's purposeless in existence, kind of similar to what Kane said in episode 8. Also, this episode's kind of fun. The yellow guy from Smiling Friends voice acts, so he's pretty funny, I guess, and the beach area looked pretty cool. Oh yeah, and Kane's office looked interesting. I'm surprised it was all a ruse set up by him. I think when Abel said, make the right choice twice, it kind of made me think, that's a little off, so I guess other than that, I really thought this was the final episode, so it being the tri-ultimate was a neat surprise. You could call it filler, which it kind of is, other than the ties to episode 8, but I don't know, it's a fun time. A close to 8 out of 10. Starting off the top 3. Every episode is really good after all those entries, so this is basically a 3-way tie. I'm just mentioning this now, this is very subjective. At number 3 is episode 1, Pilot. This introduction was so good. The digital main character, Pomni, is a smart way to show the amazing digital circus is more of a digital prison and what that can do to your mind over time. I like how most of the episodes follow the structure of starting out happy, then transitions into like an existential trauma. On rewatch, I found out they did a little Jump Mo reference, which was a short film made by Gooseworks. I think it was when Kinger asked if there was like a game show inside the monster stomach. That specifically happened in the short film. Also, I'm glad they brought back the exit rooms for episode 8. Also, the ending song is Peak. I'm glad they brought it back for episode 2 in like a reprise form, and presumably episode 9. I swear to God, if the finale of the episode isn't that song, I'm gonna be a little surprised. Overall, a great introduction to the series, which made my expectations a little too high for episode 2. It was better on rewatch, thankfully, but this episode definitely blows it out of the water. An 8 out of 10. And at number 2 is episode 6, They All Get Guns. This episode is great. Firstly, it's cool how they tease Kinger being a developer on the simulation as he created a butterfly out of nowhere with no way to know from Kane. This was mentioned in episode 8, but I didn't even realize the first time I watched it, and I wrote this before I rewatched that episode, so. Maybe I like Fortnite too much, even though I haven't played in years, as I thought the Battle Royale segment was a lot of fun. Actually, it kind of reminds me more of that, like, Mr. Beast Balloon Battle Royale back in 2019. Mainly because of the 3 HP and the host being a little goofball. I thought most of the jokes were pretty funny, and I liked how it's 10 minutes longer, so there's 3 dramatic segments spliced into the adventure instead of just 1 or 2 near the end. Also, Jack saying that everyone is his playthings and makes suffer is really reminding me of another rabbit with yellow features, a big smile, and the character is mainly indicated by purple. A good old 8 out of 10. Anyway, at number 1 is episode 8, His sack Littleful. While it's arguable that any of these 3 episodes are the best, this one is the most fun and rewatchable, as the main villain is Kane, who is a really fun villain. His song Who's Running the Show plays in my head rent-free every day. Also, it teases how Abel is an old AI that was taken over by Kane in the intro. I never thought a pair of eyeballs and big dentures could be intimidating enough to pull off the whole Sonic.exe saying. Also, I have no idea how I missed the butterfly correlation my first watch. I think I heard from somebody that the creator stated Kane didn't stop hurting them at the end because of Kinger killing him, but because of Kane having morality still to stop. So it kind of makes his death sadder. Hope he comes back in episode 9 as a bee. Finally, Pomni insulting God is insane. Jack's talking about how everyone eventually falls into archetypes. Pomni is the one with guts, okay? Anyway, that's it for this video. This video is surprisingly long for 8 segments, so who knows? Maybe I'll make a video about ranking every color. I'm joking, I already wrote the script, so that's definitely soon. No episode 9 was leaked, but I'm gonna watch it legally like the legal person I am. To any other legal citizens, I hope episode 9 will be the best out of these 8. Which is probably possible, given that it's the length to be a movie. Or at least should be. Who knows, maybe it's gonna be like 30 minutes again. Before I end the video, here's a brief sneak peek of my next video. Anyway, I hope you have a good day. Also, obviously, credit to Glitch Productions and Gooseworks for making the series. See ya.